Hey everyone, welcome back. For a lot of homeowners, a home inspection, it can feel like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
There's just so much information coming at you all at once, and then boom, you're on to the next thing.
Right.
You're on to the next stage of buying or selling the house.
Yeah.
So today we're taking a deep dive into a topic that can help you get the most out of those inspections,
Okay.
especially when it comes to repairs.
Okay.
And we're going to look how to turn that inspection report into clear, actionable steps.
Okay.
Even if maybe in the past you didn't quite nail that process.
Yeah, you're right. Home inspections can feel like a fire hose of information sometimes.
Yeah.
Even when we try to do everything right.
Right.
We might look back and think, maybe I could have handled that repair a bit differently.
Exactly. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We're all learning as we go.
For sure.
And that's what's great about today. We're going to be looking at the insights of Gary Smith.
Okay.
He's a seasoned home inspector.
He is.
He's also spent decades in the construction industry.
Wow.
So he really knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what I find so fascinating about his blog post is that he doesn't just point out the problems,
Right.
but he offers real practical solutions.
Yeah, what's really insightful is how Gary uses real-life examples to illustrate these common pitfalls.
Yeah.
Like, he talks about a case where an electrical panel was overheating during an inspection.
Okay.
The report flagged it recommended a qualified electrician.
Okay. Seems straightforward enough.
Right, you would think so.
Yeah, what could go wrong there?
Well, imagine you're the homeowner. You're a little stressed about this electrical panel.
Sure.
So you turn to your real estate agent for help finding an electrician.
Okay.
The agent, wanting to help, but also mindful of liability, might just hand over a general list of contractors.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the seller is under pressure to close the deal.
Right.
Might be tempted to choose the cheapest bid.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Not necessarily the most qualified electrician.
Good intentions all around, but maybe not the best outcome.
A recipe for potential disaster.
Yeah.
And it's not just about electrical systems either. Gary highlights how this disconnect between identifying an issue and getting a truly effective solution can pop up with any part of a house, plumbing, roofing, you name it.
Oh, wow.
He uses another example of a crawl space and foundation issues to show how widespread this problem is.
Okay, so we've identified the problem. Inspection reports often don't translate to effective action.
Right.
But how do we fix it? I mean, inspectors can't dictate repairs or handpick contractors, right?
They can't, but they do lay the crucial groundwork.
Okay.
What Gary champions is this idea of clear repair protocols.
Okay.
It's about taking that inspection report and turning it into a clear roadmap for action.
Okay, let's unpack that a little bit.
Sure.
What does a clear repair protocol actually look like?
Gary emphasizes the importance of specificity.
Okay.
Remember that electrical panel example?
Yeah.
Instead of a vague request like fix the electrical panel,
Right.
you want something much more detailed, like have a qualified electrician with documented experience in thermal imaging evaluate the panel for overheating. They should provide a detailed scope of work, obtain necessary permits, and provide documentation of the completed work, including thermal images showing the problem is resolved.
That's such a smart strategy. It's like creating a safety net for yourself as a homeowner.
Exactly.
By being so specific, you're not just hoping for the best.
Right.
You're ensuring that work is done right from start to finish.
Exactly. And it's not just about making sure the right person fixes it.
Yeah.
It's about making sure they fix it the right way. Thermal imaging, for example, lets electricians see heat patterns. That might indicate a problem that a visual inspection alone would miss.
Okay.
So specifying this technique ensures a thorough assessment.
That makes total sense. But what about those other details like permits and inspections?
Yeah.
Those can feel like a hassle sometimes.
Sure.
Are they really that important?
Absolutely. Permits ensure the work meets local building codes.
What?
Which are all about safety, and structural integrity inspections provide an extra layer of oversight.
Okay.
Making sure everything's up to par. Think of them as safeguards against shoddy work and potential hazards down the line.
So we're talking specific repair requests, making sure the right techniques are used. Anything else homeowners should be thinking about?
Definitely. Gary also emphasizes the importance of documentation.
Okay.
You want a clear record of everything, proposals from contractors, photographs of the work invoices, warranties.
Right.
It's like building a case file for your repairs.
So why is all this paperwork so crucial?
Think of these documents as your shield against future disputes. or proof that the work was done correctly.
Yeah.
If problems arise later on, having this paper trail can save you a lot of headaches.
Okay, all of that makes sense, but I think a lot of homeowners might feel a little overwhelmed at this point.
Yeah.
I know I am.
Yeah.
Where does the real estate agent fit into all of this?
That's a great question, and Gary highlights just how crucial real estate agents can be in this process.
Okay.
They might not be technical experts,
Right.
but they can be powerful advocates for the buyer.
Yeah.
They can help make sure those repair agreements are solid, that deadlines are met, and that the buyer's interests are protected throughout the entire repair process.
So they're like the project manager,
Exactly.
making sure everything stays on track and everyone's doing what they're supposed to do.
I think of them as your guide through this potentially confusing terrain. They're there to help you navigate and make the best decisions for your investment.
I'm really glad you brought that up because I think sometimes we forget just how important that agent's role can be, especially when things get technical.
Absolutely. And speaking of technical,
Yeah.
let's go back to that documentation we were talking about.
Okay.
Gary specifically recommends getting copies of all of these when the seller is handling the repairs.
Okay.
Contractor licenses and insurance certificates, detailed proposals, permits, and inspection records, photographs of the work invoices and warranties.
Wow, that's quite a list. Can you break down why each of those is so important for homeowners to have on hand?
Of course, contractor licenses and insurance certificates are your assurance that the person doing the work is qualified and that you're protected in case of any accidents or damage.
Okay.
A detailed work proposal outlined exactly what will be done and for how much, preventing any surprises down the line. Permits and inspection records demonstrate that the work complies with local building codes and has been officially reviewed for safety.
Got it.
Photographs provide visual evidence of the work completed, which is especially helpful for hidden areas like inside walls or under floors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Detailed invoices break down the costs of labor and materials, giving you a transparent record of expenses.
Okay.
And lastly, warranties and guarantees offer protection if the repaired items fail within a certain time frame.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's all about transparency and having that peace of mind.
You got it. These documents are like your insurance policy for the repairs.
Yeah.
They provide proof of what was done, how it was done, and who's responsible if anything goes wrong.
Okay.
Think of it as protecting your investment and avoiding potential headaches down the road.
I love that, protecting your investment. And that brings us to another important point Gary makes.
Yeah.
The cheapest bid isn't always the best choice,
Yeah.
especially with complex systems like electrical or anything that impacts safety.
That's crucial. Sometimes trying to save a few bucks up front can lead to much bigger expenses later on.
Yeah.
If you cut corners on repairs, you might end up having to redo the work entirely.
Oh, no.
Or worse, hidden damage could get worse and lead to even more costly problems down the road.
So what does all this mean for homeowners who are facing repairs after an inspection?
Right.
What are the key takeaways here?
Well, the big takeaway is that successful repairs are a collaborative effort.
Okay.
It's about clear communication between you, the buyer, the seller, your agent, and the contractors involved. It's about taking that initial anxiety and turning it into empowered action by having the right knowledge and taking proactive steps.
I love how you framed that it's not about being intimidated by the process. It's about understanding it and using that knowledge to your advantage.
Exactly.
So where do we go from here?
Yeah,
What's the next step for homeowners who want to make sure they're getting the most out of their inspections and repairs?
that's where we'll pick up in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, great. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. So we were just talking about how home inspections can sometimes feel a little overwhelming,
Yeah,
even if we think we're doing everything right.
right.
There's always room to learn and improve.
Always.
But it's not about dwelling on past mistakes. It's about feeling empowered to handle things differently in the future.
All right.
So let's focus on that now, those practical steps you can take to make sure you're getting the absolute most out of your inspections and your repairs.
Okay, so first things first,
Okay.
it all starts with that inspection report. Take the time to really read it carefully and don't hesitate to ask your inspector for clarification
Yeah.
on anything that's unclear.
I think sometimes those reports can feel like they're written in a different language.
Oh, absolutely.
All those technical terms and jargon.
Yeah.
It's easy to get lost
Yeah, you're right.
in the weeds.
So don't be shy about asking questions.
Right.
It's your home. It's your investment. You have the right to understand what's going on.
Okay, so we've read the report. We've clarified any confusing parts. What's next?
Now it's time to think about the repair process itself.
Okay.
Remember Gary's emphasis on specificity.
Yes.
That's crucial when you're creating those repair requests.
Okay.
Don't just say fix the roof.
Right.
Instead, clearly define the specific areas of concern, the type of repairs needed, and the materials you want used.
Okay, can you give us an example of what that might look like?
Sure, instead of fix the roof, you might say repair the missing shingles on the south-facing slope of the roof and replace any damage flashing around the chimney using materials that match the existing roof. Okay, that's much more precise.
Right.
It's like giving the contractor a blueprint for the job.
Exact.
I can see how that would prevent misunderstandings and ensure everyone's on the same page from the get-go.
It also helps you compare bids from different contractors more effectively because you're comparing apples to apples.
So we're being super specific with our repair requests.
Right.
What else should homeowners keep in mind?
Choosing the right contractor is just as important as defining the repairs.
Okay.
Don't automatically go with the cheapest bid.
Right.
Take the time to do your due diligence.
I think we've all heard that phrase, due diligence.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean in this context?
It means going beyond just checking licenses and insurance,
Okay.
which are definitely essential. But it's about researching their reputation, asking for references, talking to past clients to get a sense of their work ethic and quality.
Okay.
You might also ask to see examples of similar projects they've completed in the past.
This is where that list from your real estate agent might come in handy, right? Absolutely.
But even with recommendations, it's still important to do your own research.
Exactly. An agent's list is a great starting point. But you want to be your own advocate and make sure the contractor you choose is the right fit for your specific needs and expectations.
So we're nailing down those detailed repair requests. We're vetting contractors carefully. What else can homeowners do to ensure things go smoothly?
This might sound simple, but don't underestimate the power of communication.
Okay.
Keep the lines of communication open with your agent, the seller, if applicable, and the contractors.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone understands the scope of work, the agreed-upon timeline, and what's expected of them.
This is especially important, I think, for those of us who might have had a not-so-great experience with repairs in the past.
Sure.
I know for me, clear communication makes me feel so much more in control and less anxious.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power.
Right.
And by understanding the steps involved and asking the right questions, you can transform a potentially stressful situation into a manageable one.
So speaking of knowledge,
Okay.
let's circle back to those documents we talked about earlier.
Right.
All those licenses, proposals, permits, photos, invoices, warranties. When's the best time to request these from the seller or contractor?
The sooner the better.
Okay.
Ideally, you should get copies of everything up front.
Okay.
Contractor licenses and insurance certificates should be provided before any work begins.
Gotcha.
And the detailed proposal outlining the work and costs should be reviewed and agreed upon before things get underway.
Okay.
Permits, of course, should be obtained before the work starts.
Right.
And you should receive copies of inspection records once those inspections are complete.
Okay. What about those photos and invoices? When should you request those?
Photos can be shared periodically as the work progresses, giving you visual confirmation of what's been done, especially in those hard-to-see areas.
Okay.
Invoices detailing all costs should be provided upon completion of the work.
Gotcha.
And, of course, make sure to get those warranties as soon as the job is finished.
So now we have all these documents.
Yeah.
What do we do with them? Just file them away and hope we never need them again?
Not quite.
Huh.
While you hope you won't need them, it's wise to organize these documents in a way that makes them easy to access, should any issues arise in the future.
Okay.
A simple system is to create a dedicated file for each repair project, clearly labeled and stored in a safe, easily accessible place.
Okay, that makes sense. So we're being proactive, we're organized, we're communicating effectively.
Right.
Anything else homeowners can do to really maximize the value of those home inspections and ensure those repairs are done right?
Yes, and it's an important one. Don't hesitate to get a second opinion if you have any doubts about the proposed repairs or the contractor you've chosen.
Right.
It's your home, your investment, and you have every right to feel confident in the decisions being made.
I love that advice. It's all about feeling empowered and informed throughout the entire process.
Absolutely. And remember, even if you've had some bumps in the road with repairs in the past, it doesn't have to be that way going forward. By arming yourself with knowledge and taking a proactive approach, you can make sure future repairs are handled smoothly and effectively.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I think we've covered a lot of ground today. It's been so insightful.
Yeah.
We've unpacked the importance of clear repair protocols, detailed documentation, choosing the right contractors,
Right.
and communicating effectively.
Exactly.
But before we wrap things up, I'd love to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
That idea of collaboration being key.
Yes. It's so important to remember that successful repairs are a team effort.
Yeah.
It's not just about you and the contractor. It's about everyone working together. You, the seller, your agent, the contractors, all striving towards the same goal.
And what is that goal?
To get those repairs done right, to make sure the work is high quality, protects your investment,
Right.
and ensures your home is a safe and comfortable place to live.
I love that it's about turning that initial anxiety we might feel about repairs into a sense of shared purpose and accomplishment.
Absolutely. And it's about remembering that we're all on this journey together.
Yeah.
Whether you're a seasoned homeowner or just starting out, we all encounter challenges, and there's always something new to learn.
And that's what the deep dive is all about.
That's right.
Learning, growing, and empowering ourselves to make the most of those homeownership adventures.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a little something to ponder.
Okay.
Think back to past repairs you've had done on your home. Were they well documented? Do you know the qualifications of those who did the work?
Right.
Did you get those all-important warranties?
Yeah.
It's never too late to take stock and make sure you're protected.
That's such an important point. It's easy to assume everything is fine, but having that peace of mind that comes from knowing things were done right is invaluable.
Right.
And if you realize maybe some things weren't handled as thoroughly as they could have been, don't beat yourself up.
Right.
The important thing is that you're learning and taking steps to improve your approach going forward.
Exactly. We've all been there. And this isn't about dwelling on past mistakes. It's about empowering ourselves to make better choices in the future.
For sure.
Home inspections are powerful tools.
They are.
But their true value lies in how we use those insights to guide our action and protect our investments.
Well said.
So to our listeners out there, whether you're a seasoned homeowner or just starting out, remember this. Home inspections are valuable tools, but their true power lies in how you use the insights they provide.
Exactly.
Take Gary's advice to heart. Be specific. Be thorough. Document everything. Communicate clearly. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right.
And remember, even if you've had a less than ideal experience with repairs in the past, it doesn't have to be that way in the future.
Absolutely not.
Arm yourself with knowledge, be proactive, and know that you're not alone on this journey.
You got it.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful, helpful, and maybe even a little inspiring.
Yeah, for sure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep. As we wrap up our deep dive today, something that's really stuck with me is how Gary Smith frames home inspections.
Yeah.
He doesn't see them as just a hurdle to clear before closing, but as a real opportunity for homeowners.
That's a great point. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in the stress of buying or selling.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right, an inspection is a chance to really learn about your home.
Exactly.
Its quirks, its needs.
And when you approach repairs from that mindset as a chance to really care for your home and protect your investment, it can really shift your perspective.
It really can. It's a mindset shift from reactive to proactive.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for problems to arise, you're taking steps to prevent them, and that can save you
Oh, absolutely.
so much time, money, and stress in the long run.
For sure. Speaking of being proactive earlier, you mentioned that sometimes it's a good idea to get a second opinion.
Yeah.
Especially if you have any doubts about the proposed repairs or the contractor. Can you talk a little more about that?
Absolutely. It's natural to feel a little unsure, especially if you're dealing with a major repair or if you're not really familiar with the technical aspects.
Right.
Getting a second opinion from another qualified professional can give you that extra peace of mind and make sure you're making the best decision for your home.
So it's not about questioning the first expert's knowledge or judgment. It's just about getting that extra layer of reassurance before making a big decision.
Exactly. Think of it as due diligence for your own peace of mind.
Okay.
And it's not uncommon at all. Many homeowners, especially those who are new to the process, find it helpful to get multiple perspectives before committing to a major repair.
I love that it's about being an empowered homeowner, taking ownership of the process, and advocating for your home.
Exactly. And that's what this whole deep dive has really been about, empowering homeowners with knowledge and practical tips so they can approach repairs with confidence and clarity, turning what can feel like a really daunting experience into a manageable and even rewarding one.
Well said to all of you listening out there, whether you're a seasoned homeowner or just starting out, remember this.
Yeah.
Home inspections are valuable tools,
They are.
but their true power lies in how you use the insights they provide.
Absolutely.
Take Gary's advice to heart.
Mm-hmm.
Be specific. Be thorough. Document everything. Communicate clearly. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right.
And remember, even if you've had a less than ideal experience with repairs in the past,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be that way in the future.
That's right.
Arm yourself with knowledge. Be proactive. And know that you're not alone on this journey.
Well said.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful, helpful, and maybe even a little inspiring.
For sure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep. Until next time.